What's up with it? It's your boy Christopher Gibson. I'm rocking with Hip Hop Apostle and we locked in with the beat of the streets.
Addicted to the fame, blinded by the cars and clothes, hiding from the light of truth and running down the rocky road.
So can you tell everybody what's your name and where you from?
My name is Christopher Gibson. I'm from Garland, Texas.
So how long you been rapping?
About 15 years. I'm 33 years old now. I've probably been doing this since I was about 16. 15, not about 17 years. Man, I've been doing it a while.
So what drew you to music in the first place?
I don't know. I don't even know. I just always love music. I don't know. It's one of those things you're just born to do.
Okay, yeah, I can feel
Not
that.
that everybody's born to do, when everybody has their call and that one thing that they don't even know why they love it so much. Just always been real passionate about it.
So I noticed you go by your real name. Most artists and entertainers like to create false personas and narratives to present to the public to appear more interesting to its audience. And basically creating a stage name is a part of that process. What made you decide to use your government name and not create a stage name?
Okay. I got a real crazy story about this. I did have a stage name. I went by A1 Pistol for many years, and a lot of people know me as that. A lot of people still address me as Pistol, but I went to prison, and I turned my life around, and I said, I no longer want to go that direction. I don't want to go down that road no more. So I said, how can I change my life around and still go by Pistol? Still promote the negative things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wrote I had a notebook in there, and I wrote 3 pages back and front names. I was trying to figure out which name I should go by. And one day I just felt it in my spirit. I heard God tell me, hey, everybody's trying to be this and be that and call themselves this and make themselves be something that they're not. Go by who you are, who I created you to be. And that's what Christopher Gibson.
I guess you already answered this question. I was going to ask you, have you always created Christian rap? So I guess that answer is no.
Not at all.
So when did you make the transition over to Christian rap?
I wouldn't say that I just transitioned into Christian rap. I turned my life around, and I could no longer rap about the old things. You know what I mean? So, and I love to rap. Like I said, music is my passion, has always been. So I said, hey, if I'm gonna live like this, I still want to rap. I got to talk about how I'm living.
So when you decided to start making Christian rap, were you concerned about how your past listeners would conceive your new music?
Absolutely. Yeah. That was probably that's the biggest struggle. Everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants to fit in. And I knew for sure wasn't nobody gonna like this or feel this, but it's crazy. Ever since I've been releasing it, just the love I've been getting. And not only from, I thought, okay, if I do get some love, it's gonna be from the people in that community. You know what I mean? The Christians,
yeah.
Or the people who love God, but it's been coming from both sides, the gangsters, the hustlers, the thugs, all of them. Everybody's loving it. It's crazy. I've been getting so many messages, and somebody actually told me they turned their life around and want to give their life to Christ, and I've been getting so many messages. It's just been blowing my mind. It's crazy.
Now, for everybody watching that don't know, you have more than one musical talent. You're both an artist and a music engineer. So, are you a rapper turned engineer? Or an engineer turned rapper?
I've always been both.
Both?
Yeah. When I grew up, I wanted to rap, and I didn't have the means to get in the studio, so I built my own. And 10 studios ago. Started with a computer in the closet. And just been building.
So starting off, was it hard, juggling both, I guess, because, they're 2 different crafts. So was it hard, perfecting 2 crafts at once? How was that process?
They're 2 different crafts, they're one and the same. I want to rap, and I had to make myself sound good.
True, but
I didn't start off recording other people, my homeboys and stuff, but I would be in there for hours trying to get my voice to sound right. So I learned how to make other people's voice sound right at the same time.
Now that's easier said than done, because most artists, they might create music, but they don't actually engineer it or record themselves. So
it's like 17 years worth of trial and error. So it wasn't just overnight. I'm getting better every day. You learn something every day when you're engineering.
which craft was easier to develop?
I would have to say the rapping. It's natural. It's easy. I can do it with my eyes closed. Well, obviously, but I can rap it. Rapping, it just comes to me natural. I don't know where my talent. Well, I know where my talent comes from. Yeah, you know what I mean. I didn't. It's just easy. I was born doing it. It's easy. But engineering, I actually had to learn and take time.
Now, if you had to make a choice between rapping and being an engineer, which would you choose? Or would you choose?
Rapping, of course.
Why?
Because rap is my passion and being an audio engineer is my job.
So in your earlier life, was there anyone who directly or indirectly exposed you to entrepreneurship? If so, who was that person and how did they inspire you?
I would have to say it's my mother. When we grew up, she owned a few businesses. She worked jobs as well, but she worked jobs and had a business on the side. She always was trying to, get it out the mud, find new ways to make money. And I think that just trickled down to everybody in my family because that's what we do. We work, we own things. Like my brother, the one you just met, Brandon, he always been in on the studios with me. He's willing. Like, I got out of prison a little over a year ago, and I said, hey, I want to open up another studio. He jumped in head first with me, and look at us now.
All right, so before we talk about the new album, I have some more personal questions to ask you to help fans get to know you a little bit better. You stated that you were from Garland. Mm-hmm. So what was life like growing up in Garland?
It's a regular life. Garland, I guess you could say it's a suburb of Dallas, but it's not the suburbs, it's the hood. We just grew up. I can't be one of those rappers that said, oh, I didn't have nothing to eat back in the day. It wasn't none of that. My mama worked really hard, so I didn't have the Jordans and the, all that, but I had some shoes, you know what I mean? So I always had, but we was young troublemakers out here. We actually got a bad name in Garland. Bad name, police hater.
Really?
Yeah, to this day. We had a little gang of dudes terrorizing. I mean, we used to terrorize this city, and they didn't want it in their city. So, actually, when I opened up this studio, the police came and said, A1 cannot have a studio in Garland. Take that somewhere else, somebody else's time. Why are you looking?
Well, that's crazy. Look.
No, it's because there's a lot of history behind it, though. I went to prison because they ran in my last studio. The feds ran in my last studio because we were doing the whole selling drugs, doing everything out of it. You know what I mean? So when we opened up here, they were like, "Oh no, y'all not finna do that here." But a year later, here we are.
You mentioned that y'all were pretty much running wild around Garland. So were there any type of struggles that you faced early on in life that caused you to go down the wrong path? Like,
struggle that I deal with today, trying to fit in, trying to be cool, trying to hang with the right, you know what I'm saying? Trying to be loved by everybody and learn the hard way.
So it wasn't like a survival thing. It was just.
Nah, it was good. I mean, I'm just hanging with the gangsters.
I mean, because some people.
You gotta be gangster, hanging with the gangsters. So I found myself doing things that I wouldn't have did in my right mind. You know what I mean?
I feel you, but then some people do things out of survival.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a choice. So you was just. Yeah. Okay.
I had home to go to every night.
Okay, so you was out here thugging for fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So looking back at your past decisions, if you could pinpoint one decision that steered you down the wrong path, like something major, what would it be?
being consumed with money, having to have all the money. It made me, money that made me do some things. You know what I mean? Some things that shouldn't be done.
Basically, you saying you started getting money, you started seeing a lot of money, and it kind of drove you from there, huh?
Nah, being broke wanting some more money. Hurt people, take people's stuff, kick your dough in, take all your Christmas gifts, your kids' Christmas gifts. I mean, just robbing, stealing, put a pistol in your face and take your paycheck. Like, just stuff that don't need to be done to nobody.
So you went from doing just like little, like, I guess like petty crimes with your friends growing up to just full on robbing, kicking in doors. Okay.
Went to prison for that too.
So if you had to describe the worst phase in your life, what was that like?
Prison.
Prison.
I hate prison. As you know, everything I do, I'm always on the go. I got something to do. I gotta help somebody. I gotta do something. I gotta take care. I gotta provide. I gotta do. You know what I mean? I have to make something shake. That's what, it's just in me. I can't sit still. In prison, you gotta sit still. Prison, that's, you're by yourself. You're away from your people, your kids. You can't do nothing. You're around a whole bunch of creeps. You got people telling you what to do all the time. You know what I mean? You at a standstill in life until you get out of there. And I never want to go back to prison. Prison wake me up every time. Every time God want to get my attention, like really, really want to get my attention, he'll sit me down somewhere. Jail do it for me. He actually told me. I know people be like, God told you. Yeah, he actually told me, hey, you gonna serve me. You serve me every time you go to jail. Because when I go there and I wake up in jail, I'll be like, oh man, you ain't got nothing to do. I'm not a dummy. And I use my mind a lot when I'm in there because I have nothing else to do. So, but he told me that you're going to serve me in prison or you're going to serve me in the streets. Let me flip it. He said you're going to serve me in the streets or you're going to serve me in prison. But either way, you're going to serve me. So I'd rather serve you in the streets, look. You know what I mean? I think about that all the time because he know every time I go to jail, I'm not one of those. I don't go to jail and just, I'm not one of the ones showing out, acting a fool, rowdy, doing, no, I'm in there trying to collect, get my mind right and reflect and see where I went wrong and get closer to God. I got all the time in the world. But out here, we get to moving so fast that we just put God behind us and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
But he told me real clearly, like, I'd rather you be locked up and in heaven than free in hell. So.
You stated that the worst phase of your life was when you were in prison. Can you tell me what a day in your life in prison consisted of, like from start to finish? What was it like?
Wake up, eat some nasty food, be around a lot of people that you really don't care for, don't know. Go to sleep. I mean, I don't know. It's a struggle. There's not really much to do in prison unless you're doing the wrong thing. A lot of reading. I read the Bible back and forth several times. I actually worked in the chapel this last time when I was in the feds. So I got to work under the chaplain and learned a lot from him and read a lot of books. Not just the Bible. I read the Bible many times, but I read a lot of books about the actual culture and what was going on when the Bible was written, to see exactly what it meant when they wrote that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a lot of background texting.
So you was doing a lot of studying and researching.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time period in your life, when you were locked up in prison, did you have any like type of goals set? You know, for
a lot of goals. I went to prison. I got my GED. Well, let's back up. You mean like when I got out, or the time being when I was in there?
Well, I was thinking more so of when you were released, but
oh yeah, when I was released, I said I wanted to get married. I got married. I said I wanted to open a studio. We're sitting in it right now. I said I wanted to join the church. Me and my wife and my brother just joined the church. What else I said I want to do? It's a couple things, but I wrote them down and I've been knocking them out. With the help of God, of course, because I don't even understand. We opened this business a year ago. Me and my brother opened 5 studios, and they were all hangouts, or we get a customer here or there. But when they say, when God put his hand on your business or on your life, it's favor. Because now I do not understand how we have so much clientele. I cannot even fathom why we have so many customers. We've been open a year, and we need to open another location. We're so booked.
Second location coming soon.
And it's nothing but God, because I didn't do anything different besides do what God told me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be faithful. That's it. I haven't done anything different. Of course, we're not selling the drugs, or, you know what I mean? It's not a hangout anymore like the last ones, but just doing what he taught us. And like I didn't even go to school for engineering. It's God-given talent that I got. And I know I'm good. Not even bragging, but it's from God though. I didn't do anything special. I didn't go get no big degree or anything. It's just he gave me the talent, and now we're overbooked.
Okay, so when you were locked up in the midst of your struggles, did you ever think that you'd be like as successful as you are right now?
Yes. God has always had favor on my life. He always looks out for me, and I know if I don't know nothing else, I know God got me. But I did have a lot of fears, like, man, when I get out, I'm not gonna be able to do anything I used to do. When I was making all that fast money, selling dope and doing all that, I had it my way. I could have whatever I want. When I got out, I said, I'm not doing those things no more. So if I gotta go work a job for $10 an hour, you know what I mean, I won't be able to have much, you know what I mean? I just have the minimum. But it's crazy because me and one of my homeboys we met in prison in Dallas, but we went all the way to Oklahoma together, and we were cellies, and we stayed down, we did a whole bid together, and we got out. He actually joined the same church. But we studied together every day and everything, and me and my wife just went to Miami last week, just a vacation, and my boy's out there in Miami with us, and we were just talking like, man, that's crazy. We just met up in Miami, and we're like, that's crazy. A year ago, we were sitting in a cell. God just showing out, ain't he? How he can just, you know what I'm saying? He showed us just by us being down there at the same port, at the same time. You know what I mean? We could have been anywhere, or we could have planned it, or we could have been, you know what I mean? But just putting us in the same place, out of town, just on vacation, just chilling, when we were just chilling in the cell together.
That is amazing.
We serve an amazing God, don't we?
Right, we do.
But we used to talk about it. We had fears like, man, we ain't gonna be able to do nothing. He's an ex-dope boy. He's like, I like nice things. I like all the designer clothes and all that, and I ain't gonna be able to do it. But he living good. He like, I'm doing better than I was doing when I was selling dope. Yeah, I was making money, but it always get took away. It's always something going on. Our pastor be telling us, when God gives you something, he adds favor with it. So the devil can't come snatch that from you. He can't come take that from you, because God gave it to you. Now if you go get it from the devil, yeah, he can take it back whenever you feel like it.
If you had to give advice to young men that's in your former position right now, what would it be? What would you say?
You ain't got nothing to prove to nobody but God. You ain't got to please nobody but God. Just run from anything or anybody who tells you to do anything other than what God's word says or his spirit tells you to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's all bad. Once you get outside of God's grace, it's all bad. The devil gonna have a field day with your life.
All right, so let's talk about your new album, Transparent. What was the motivation behind the album, and what was the purpose of its creation?
Like the title says, transparent. Just being transparent. Just airing out my thoughts and how I feel. It's basically an album of me talking to God. I had no idea I was going to be a Christian artist or anything like that. Like, I still don't label myself that. I'm not a Christian hip-hop artist. If you ask me, I'm a hip-hop artist that's a Christian. Or I'm a Christian that's a hip-hop artist. Because I don't want to be in any boxes or anything like that. And CHH, Christian hip-hop, that's a lane. And just seeing a lot of things. A lot of people feel like you should walk like this, talk like this, move like this, and you know what I'm saying? I just want to be what God made me to be, and I'm me. And hey, I'm not perfect. I'm just trying to do what God told me to do the best way I can do it. Transparent. It's just me talking to God. I'm not preaching at nobody. That's why a lot of people telling me when they message me and telling me and calling me, hey, I love this album. It's not your typical gospel album. You're not like condemning nobody. No, you just talking to God about your own struggles, and I can feel that.
I feel like that's what a lot of people missing though, like in just music period. Just I guess that
authenticity.
Yeah. Because I mean, I feel like if you just, if you being honest and you just, speaking truth, then you don't have to, you don't have to force it.
And that's the thing about that album. It's the exact opposite of everything you hear on the radio and everything else. Everybody, I'm this, I'm that. And that transparent, you listen to it, he's saying, I'm nothing. I'm messed up, Lord, I need you. I need you. I'm this, I'm toe up. Help me. You know what I mean?
Now I was gonna say, most people only rap about the good things that happen in their life. What inspired you to be so open and honest about your struggles in life in this new album?
Oh, that's always been me. Down to earth, I don't know. That's always been me. Even when I was A1 Pistol and rapping secular, I was talking about the struggle. Yeah, I made songs talking about I got this and that, but even when I was in that lane, a lot of people love my music because I was talking about the struggle, what I'd been through.
So what do you hope the effect will be after fans listen to the album and hear you talk about your struggles in life?
Hopefully it could inspire somebody that comes from the lifestyle I was in to give it to God, to allow him to work on them and change them back into who he created them to be. Because that's all I'm doing. People tell me I'm so proud of you. And why? I'm just doing what I was supposed to do a long time ago. I can't take the credit. God is working on me every day.
Do you feel that churches or Christians are doing an effective job with reaching lost youth or souls?
Absolutely. There's countless youth programs and churches looking out for the youth.
But is it effective though?
How can we judge that? I mean, absolutely. As long as you're trying. I mean, if you save one person from going to jail, one person from getting killed in the streets out of 50, it's effective in my mind.
Now, in one of your songs, Truth Be Told, you told the story of a young woman whose life was spinning out of control. You mentioned she wanted to go to the pastor, but she didn't because she was afraid of judgment. Do you feel like your past experiences in life prepared you or put you in a position to be able to reach lost souls like the woman that you rapped about, being that, you've experienced some pretty dark places yourself?
Absolutely. That's my whole mission. I believe that's what I'm called to do, to bridge that gap between the dark places and the light. I don't know about a lot of people, but I know me, I feel more comfortable talking to somebody who's been through what I've been through than somebody who just knows it all. I would feel more comfortable talking to my pastor knowing he comes from the streets than talking to the Pope who ain't ever spent a day in the street. I feel like we can relate.
Would you consider yourself to be religious or spiritual?
Child of God. I don't like the term religious. The religious folks, those are the people who killed Jesus back in his day.
Right.
Those are the Pharisees. Those were the people who were all about traditions and, you have to dress like this, you have to walk like this, you have to talk like this, you're doing that, you're going to hell. That's why I love the church I go to right now. Greater Works, they're not judgmental at all. The pastor preached in some Jordans the other day. It's
Okay, where is this church located? I might need to stop by. Where is this church located?
Over here, 4230 Rose Hill Road, next door.
Okay. I might do
And
that.
the pastor's just so down to earth and just speaks our lingo, but he's a man of God, mighty man of God.
So, what's your favorite song on the album and why?
It would have to be Grace Amazing. Grace Amazing. I don't know, it just got that old school church feel to it with those organs and the beats
Oh yeah.
smacking, but I don't know, it's just the words into it because I was really talking about something in that.
You talk about grace a lot in the album.
I'm real big on grace because Lord, I done some things and I hate people who condemn people. I hate condemnation because if I was put on trial for everything I've done in my life, I wouldn't be here right now. For half the things I've done, a little bit. For one thing I did, I know I'd be gone forever. You know what I mean? And Jesus saw fit to use me. So I know, you know what I mean? Anybody can turn it around at any given point with God's help. And I'm just real big on grace. Because people sometimes, you never know what somebody's going through. You never know where they're at. And like, when you really experience grace, you're going to be big on giving grace. You have to be. How can you not be forgiven when you've been forgiven? It don't make sense. You want God to forgive you for everything you do, but you don't want to forgive nobody when they wrong you.
Alright, so past or present, are there any artists that you're inspired by? If so, who are they and what is it about them that inspires you?
I love Kanye just because he's a musical genius. And then I love how he got my same story. He was a secular artist and he turned it over and now he's talking about the Lord. Lecrae, real big on Lecrae. I like him a lot because he like literally pioneered this Christian hip hop thing. I read his book when I was in prison and just see where he came from. So yeah, I like Lecrae. Brian T. He's an artist. He's coming up hard and he's, like I said, he's a mighty man of God. He preaches the word. I think he's also a pastor. And he's cold. He makes good music. They're all about saving souls. They're gonna tell it like it is. One more. I got a real close friend named Gospel Ready. He's from Dallas, and he's on fire for the Lord. He come from where I come from, doing the same things I was doing, and I seen his whole transition. And ever since I came back to God, he been helping me a lot. He been there to disciple me and just teach me, show me the way. It's not about music. It's not even about music. It's just about being who God called you to be.
So with that being said, if you could work with any artist, who would it be and why?
It's gonna sound strange. I want to work with Kirk Franklin.
Kirk Franklin?
Yes, I said that the other day.
After the scandal?
And that makes it even more real because I see that he's a real person.
Okay, so
I cut somebody out the other day. You know what I mean? My bad, but I did. Kirk Franklin, man, he's just real. But partly because I grew up on that. Like, I grew up in the church. My mama had us at church Sunday morning, Sunday school, Sunday service. We would leave and come back Sunday night for Sunday evening service, Wednesday service. We were young, we was in the church, but that's when Kirk Franklin was popping hard. We went to church in Fort Worth. He from Fort Worth, so he came out hard. That was back in the day, and every day, them 40-minute hour drives to Fort Worth to church back and forth. That's all she was listening to, so I still love all his music.
I didn't know he was from the area. Have you ever seen him in person or like?
I haven't met Kirk, but I've been following him my whole life.
We got to make that happen, Kirk Franklin.
It's possible. Easy. With God, you know what I mean? He opened doors.
Oh, I'm serious. So tell everybody where they can find your new album, Transparent.
It's on all major platforms. You can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, all major platforms. You look anywhere, you can find it.
Now, where can fans locate you on social media?
Christopher Gibson. Simple. It's my real name. On Facebook, Instagram. What else I got? That's my YouTube Vivo channel. Anywhere you look for me, you gonna find me if you go looking.
Addicted to the fame, blinded by the cars and clothes, hiding from the light of truth and running down the rocky road. I feel it in my soul, I hear you speaking to my heart. You ask me why you only call on me when life get hard. You ask me why you only seek me when you need a favor. Because I know that I'm unworthy, but